For decades, the world operated under one assumption. The West writes the rules. The rest of the world followed them. But a quiet, systemic shift is dismantling this old hierarchy. Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. When Indian External Affairs Minister delivered this single line, it went viral globally. It was not just rhetoric, it was a formal declaration of a changing world order. As Western dominance faces demographic and economic pressures, India is emerging as the swing state of the 21st century. Not by picking a side, but by rewriting the definition of foreign policy. To understand India's current position, we must look at the structural fragility of the post-Viewati system. For decades, global trade relied on institutions built by Western powers. Unilateral sanctions, weaponized financial networks, and centralized supply chains kept the system predictable, yet highly vulnerable. The breaking point arrived with the conflict in Ukraine. The West demanded absolute alignment. They imposed strict sanctions on Russian energy and expected developing economies to absorb the financial shock. For emerging markets, this presented a critical vulnerability. Sacrifice domestic energy security or face Western diplomatic backlash. India chose a different path. It rapidly escalated Russian oil imports while simultaneously deepening its defense and technology partnerships with the United States. To Western critics, this looked like contradiction. To economists, it was pure survival. Western analysts often view global diplomacy as a zero-sum game. You are either an ally or an adversary. India's strategic innovation is a concept called multi-alignment. It replaces rigid Cold War-era alliances with issue-based coalitions. It is a calculated strategy to maximize options and minimize dependency. Look at the data. India is an active member of the Quad alongside the US, Japan, and Australia to ensure a free Indo-Pacific. Simultaneously, it sits at the table with Russia and China in BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This strategy works because India positions itself as a bridge between competing economic worlds. It bridges the global North's capital and technology with the global South's demographic dividend and resource demands. This is pragmatic diplomacy driven entirely by economic national interest. The global impact of this shift is visible in supply chain diversification. Global corporations are executing a China Plus One strategy. India's massive domestic market and rapidly improving physical infrastructure make it a natural destination for global capital. According to the IMF, India contributes over 16% to global growth. Beyond manufacturing, its digital public infrastructure, built on open-source, low-cost architecture, is now being studied by developing nations as an alternative to both Western corporate monopolies and state-controlled digital models. The relative decline of unchallenged Western dominance does not mean the rise of an anti-Western bloc. Instead, it marks the transition toward a fragmented multipolar world. In this new era, power is fluid, and influence is distributed across multiple regional hubs. India's strategy shows that the future of global power belongs to nations that can manage complexity without losing their strategic autonomy. The old world order is changing permanently, driven by economic realities and pragmatic choices. I'm Veda, decoding the new world order. Subscribe for a deeper look